Hello and welcome to episode 77 of From Impossible to Inevitable. I am your host, Megan Bauer. Thank you so much for joining me today and pushing play on today's episode. So today I have a really fun idea that I want to share with you. It was probably a couple of months ago that I was driving to the girls' school and it was in the afternoon and I had this thought. And this thought was, this is day one. And I was immediately like, what are you talking about? Day one? It's a Tuesday. It's the middle of the day. I didn't launch anything today. I didn't start anything new today. What are we talking? Like what? Day one? What is that? And the more I thought about it, the more I realized that day one can definitely be a date on the calendar. And there are a lot of day ones on the calendar. But it can also be a mindset. We can choose at any time, the middle of the day on a Tuesday, that it is day one and begin again. The exciting thing about day one is that you have a fresh start. You haven't screwed up yet. You don't have any of this baggage of the previous times that you failed or that you haven't followed through on a habit or whatever it is. You don't have any of that with you. You're just moving forward because it's day one. It's the beginning. You have a blank slate that you're acting from. A long, long time ago, I read this diet book, and it is 100% the only diet book I've ever read, and I don't actually think I did anything about it. I think I just read it. It's information, right? So one of the things I loved about this diet book was that he taught that every single meal and every single snack is a completely separate incident from any other meal and any other snack. And what that means is that what your previous choices don't have to affect your current choice. So, you could get up in the morning and eat a great healthy breakfast, and then maybe the office brought in lunch and maybe you chose the unhealthier options, or maybe you ate too much, or maybe you had fourths on dessert, whatever it is. Not proud about lunch. What he's saying is that that doesn't have to have any impact on what your choices are for dinner. That doesn't have to have any impact on your next snack. You could totally binge lunch and be like, okay, I did that. And now I'm choosing a healthy snack. I'm going to have an apple instead of another helping of dessert because this is a separate incident. This is completely separate from my other choices. I get to choose again, and I get to choose differently. So in that respect, each meal is a day one. You get to choose again that you are going to follow this diet, or you are going to eat healthier, or whatever it is. So with this day one mindset, you get all of this excitement that day one often brings. You get, it's a new thing, or it's a whatever. It's so exciting because it's day one. And you also get to just drop any of the baggage of previous mistakes or failings or times you didn't follow through, because this is day one. None of that's happened yet. You haven't screwed up yet. So you get to just go forward and you get to just make the great choices. And of course, momentum can play a huge role in continuing habits and finishing projects and things like that. But oftentimes, if we've already lost the momentum, if we've already just like in that place of beating ourselves up about this, that, and the other, it's better to just take the day one mindset. You're like, you know what? Today is day one. This is day one. Or maybe it's not even today. Maybe it's this moment. This moment is day one. I get to choose right now that I am going to be this person or do this thing or act this way or whatever it is because this is day one and all of that has happened. And yeah, it happened and whatever, we're leaving it over there because now it doesn't matter and it doesn't have to impact my day one. It doesn't have to impact the future. So when you get to that point of having momentum, that is a beautiful, wonderful thing. We always want the momentum. But if you've already lost it, it's day one, baby. Maybe it's day one this hour. Maybe it's day one, 5 minutes from now. I have definitely had, since I've had this like day one epiphany, I have had 5-minute day one resets where it's like, okay, I am going to set a 5-minute timer and I am going to allow myself to feel whatever it is I'm feeling. Maybe I'm feeling self-conscious or maybe I'm feeling whatever. I'm going to allow myself to feel all of that. I'm going to allow myself all of that, ugh, gross. I don't want to feel this way. And then once this 5-minute timer is up, it is day one. And I am going to start again because it's day one and I can just get to keep going. And I would argue that the more day ones you have, the more likely you are to succeed. Because there's some quote, I wish I thought about this before I started recording, but there's some quote about like, it's not about, falling off the horse. It's not about falling down. It's not about failing. It's not about any of that. It's about getting up. It's about continuing the journey. It's about starting again. It's not about falling. If we were done when we fell the very first time, no one would walk. You're like, oh, you fell. You tried to walk and you fell, and well, that's too bad. Now you just get to crawl forever. It's not about that. It's about getting up again. It's about continuing on. It's about going forward. And day one is not a date on the calendar, although it can be. There's lots of day ones on the calendar. And maybe you need to just write it down on your calendar. Day one, Tuesday at noon, okay? Then it's on the calendar. It's a mindset. Day one is a mindset, and it's a really exciting mindset because you haven't screwed up yet. Isn't that fun? I think it's fun. So you get to choose on day one to recommit, to rededicate yourself. I've loved this idea about day one. And I hope that as you are driving, wherever you are driving on a Tuesday afternoon, that this comes to your mind, that you think, this is day one. This is day one. And I hope you feel it, because when you feel it, you get that excitement. You get that like, yeah, this is day one. I can do this. This is the beginning. I haven't screwed up yet. And how exciting is that? It's so exciting. It's so exciting. That's what I've got for you today. Tuesday afternoon thoughts. But Tuesday afternoon thoughts that I have marinated on for weeks and thought about this for weeks. I had that epiphany on that Tuesday afternoon. This came to me. But it's only in the last, few weeks that it's really had an impact. As I keep choosing, this is day one. This is day one. And maybe day one is just a means to an end, But if you need it, use it. Why not? I encourage you. Thank you again for joining me today. I hope you have a wonderful day and the best day one you could ever have. Until next time, bye for now.